Who started this trend? Jerseys up all the way. Oh man, it feels so uncomfortable. Oh, relax. Put some gloves on, relax. We're here in the beautiful Adelaide Hills, South Australia. Today's video, we're going to sit down and talk to you about bikepacking tips for overnighters. The overnighter trip, one of the best things you can do as a kickstarter into bikepacking, bike touring. Better about myself, I've got 25 years bikepacking, bike racing experience. Actually, I lied, 23 years racing experience, 25 years bike touring experience. Let's sit down, let's get into it. Tip about bikepacking, I got asked this in my coaching group recently, and they said, Harley, what's your advice for overnight trips, or even a 24-hour trip? Well, they're a little bit different, because the overnight trip, you're going to be camping out. 24-hour trip, you might sleep on the side of the road. When I say sleep on the side of the road, I don't literally mean on the side of the road where a car could just veer off and run you over. I mean like off the road. We're road maybe 100 metres away from the road there. You might hear a car or two in the background. We're here at Norton Summit, South Australia, the famous, infamous Norton Summit. One of the best street racing hills in the world. One of the most popular street racing hills in the world. And it's fantastic fitness up here. But so you want to have, let's talk about 24-hour riding to start with. I recommend building it up. Start with 5-hour rides, and then a week later do an 8-hour ride, a week later do a 12-hour ride, and then add 4 hours, and that way when you do your 24-hour TT, you're so accustomed, your neck's accustomed, your contact points are accustomed, your vision's accustomed to these ultra endurance long rides. If you just do your first 24-hour ride with not much preparation, you can do that, but you're not really going to enjoy it, and it could be very, very dangerous, especially if you don't know how you feel when you're fatigued. Maybe you run out of carbohydrate, you've got 90k to go, things like that. So you want to make sure that you understand, how your body responds to fatigue. So just over the weeks, build it up. That's the worst thing you can do for enjoyment, is just jump into something deep, all right? And then have not the best experience and go, I don't really like that, it's not for me. When all you have to do is just have patience, and every week do a few more hours extra on that long ride. It'll be much more enjoyable, okay? So that's a huge tip. That's the 24-hour one. What to bring enough clothing so you're visible. We've got to end this dark clothing trend. Dark helmet, dark socks, dark everything. And like, how do drivers meant to see you? Most drivers are undercarb, they're on medications, Xanax, they're on their phone, they're on Tinder, they're on Grindr, whatever they're on. They'll probably run over a cyclist to send. Like, be seen, man, be visible. Make it easy for people who aren't paying attention to see you. Oh, it doesn't matter what colour you're wearing if not paying attention. It matters, right? In the army, do they wear neon yellow when they're in the forest? No, they wear colours that blend in. So quit your excuses you use to justify your fashion, sheeple mentality. All right, stop being a sheep. Go so you're wearing black sheep, black jerseys. If you're gonna wear something dark, wear something bright to contrast. Okay. All right, that's done. Safety's first. Big powerful lights front and rear, okay, and bring spares, because you might be out there and you run out of a rear light, okay, so always have spares. Right? Backup plan is very important. Spare tubes, all that stuff. Nutrition's huge. Nutrition can get you killed. You can get undercarb, have a big crash, smash your teeth out, have a fatal mistake or a debilitating mistake just because you didn't have enough sugar in your life. Like, seriously, I've seen it happen before. I've known people who have died from dehydration. About 3 people now died from dehydration. Okay, so not drinking enough water. 10 cents of water would have saved their life, and now they're gone. So it's like, these things are serious. These 2 people didn't die on the bike, by the way. That was just dehydration outside of cycling. So that's a huge one. You just got to stay carbed up. 100 grams per hour carbohydrate. 50 grams at a minimum 50. And if you are tired, don't have some caffeine, find a spot like this and just lay in the grass, And if you're laid on ants, you'll know about it. But just lay down, having that connection to nature. People are just scared of bugs or whatever. That's anxiety, man. That's not healthy to live with. How are you going to be your leanest and healthiest and sanest and emotionally poised person if you're scared of grass or some bugs? You're not. You're going to have a poor quality of life. Doesn't matter how many subscribers you got or how much money you got. If you can't be at one with nature, your life's going to suck. It just is. So I am very comfortable. I'm actually more comfortable sleeping outdoors than indoors, unless it's like snowing. And then I want to have a good sleeping bag. But you want to have good sleeping bag, good warmth at night time. You want to be comfortable. You want to have protection from the mosquitoes, etc. Yeah.
How about if you're in far north Queensland and you're getting eaten alive by sandflies?
You're referring to the night we slept in the mangroves?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why did we get eaten?
I coated myself in Ergot.
And you still got eaten?
Eaten.
Yeah, wow. Did you we had a bivvy bag for you, didn't we?
Yeah.
But they didn't get through the bivvy bag, or was it more when we were setting up camp?
I'm not sure.
They loved you though, didn't they? They don't really like me that much.
No.
We want some young meats. They saw my legs and like some old beef jerky meat. We want the young tenderloins. Natasha got chomped.
And I put so much Ergot, I was gagging.
Yeah, so again, that's another thing as well. You want to have that preparation by doing this little trips so you build your experience up. So when you're out there and you've done 400 Ks and you've got another 200 K to go and you get attacked by sandflies because you're taking a dump and then you get 50 sandfly bites in your ass and they've got to have an itchy ass the next 2 hours, you've got some experience dealing with that. So it's not, you don't have 10 problems lumped on you at once and give you that king hit where you're DNFing, I'm just done with this. I've seen a lady in Paris, 2003. She left her $10,000 titanium bike on the side of the road, crying, just I'm done. Threw the bike on the side of the road. I didn't see it, I was told about it. I met her at the finish line, she got on a motorbike, and all that had happened is she just ran out of carbs. And she had a feminine crisis, hangriness, where she just dumped her bike and said, I'm out. And she'd flown from America to do this Paris Audax ride, So it's like, yeah, you want to always stay carved up. Another thing as well is, I was going to say, the overnighters. I would recommend get off the road by sundown, ideally, and then see that full solid sleep. And if you're not going to get off the road by sundown, that's fine, but make sure you got good lights. Where to sleep? I like orchards, man. Orchards are fantastic. This is a great orchard. This is an organic grapevine orchard. We can tell it's organic because there's no glyphosate sprayed here. Glyphosate, you can tell it's glyphosate because it's like dead grass. Right? You don't want to sleep on that. That's carcinogens. Right? So, yeah, sleeping. I like grass. I like soft straw. Barns can be good. And people are like, oh, I want to find the owner so I can get permission. It's like, don't disturb people. No one cares if you're sleeping on their land in the country. Just clean up your mess, leave no sign of evidence, and you're good to go. Right? What, again, people, we live in this bureaucracy, red tape world where people are like, oh, but I feel like, I feel a bit weird. It's like, if you want that quality of life, then that's your choice. Right? But I don't think you do if you're watching my content, especially if you're, how many minutes in this video, Natasha, are we in?
7.
Yeah, so we're 7 minutes in. You are a red tape person if you're watching this much in. So I've slept everywhere. I've slept beaches, jetties, backyards, front yards, grapevines, sugarcane fields, organic fruit orchards. I've slept park benches in Singapore. I've slept all over the world, all different places. Concrete, beaches. Isolated beach is probably my favourite. Make sure if you are on a beach, there's no crocodiles. And if you use a crocodile beach, which we've slept on, me and Natasha.
We have.
Sleep.
My family was shitting it.
Sleep well above the tide line, all right? Find out where the high tide line is. Because if you're 3 a.m, the tide's up, lapping at your feet, and you've got that 4 metre salty, chomp chomp, you're out, So make sure that you're away from the hunting ground of a bear, a crocodile, okay? Or, yeah.
I was prepared not to wake up the next morning.
Yeah, there you go. You got to be prepared not to wake up next morning. But yeah, bikepacking's the ultimate. Touring, overnighters, it's the game changer, So that's what I love about riding. You got racing. I love to race. I love racing. I race every weekend for the last probably 23 years. Or any chance I get to race, I'll race. But I also love bikepacking as well, which is a totally different experience because you're riding at 100 watts versus asthma attack watts, heart attack watts. So it's being able to do both is very, very good. To be able to turn off and not worry about pushing big watts, and then be able to turn on and hold the wheel. So there's those bipolarity there. Another thing is when you're bike touring is don't rely on stimulants for energy. All right, you have too much emotional roller coasters. Okay, save stims for racing, or even then just don't even use them. You don't need them. But in bikepacking, the less stims you use, the better you'll enjoy your trip. Otherwise, there's something about riding long distances with no stims, especially day in, day out. If you use them here and there, yeah, whatever. But I've ridden across Australia with no caffeine or anything in my system, and you get higher euphorias that way. I find the euphoria is more full on because you're really present, you're raw, it's you. It's really fully you. And a lot of people don't want to do that. I get it, but you should try it one time. You should try riding, 24 hours or 200 Ks or whatever without any stimulants. And it is a, you know, it's really, really cool feeling. It's yeah. I remember the rides on no stims more than I remember the rides on stims. On stims, you don't remember much. But off the stims, I find you remember more when it comes to cycling stuff. Anyway, that's the video. Bike-wise, my favourite touring bikes, lightweight carbon road bikes, you know. And this is the Pragma Glycogen sponsored from my friend Durianrider, durianrider.com. Yeah, I'm friends with the CEO of Pragma Bikes, Durianrider, and he hooked me up with a good deal here. But yeah, lightweight bikes, just for the win. Bright colours. You can flip the stand, make it more endurance geometry, or you can slam it, whatever. Fits a 46/30. Make sure your gear ratios are good for what sort of terrain you're going to be riding in. The lighter your bike, the better. Yeah? And make sure your wheels are strong enough for what sort of riding you're going to be doing, and new tyres, etc.
Lightweights.
Lightweights, yeah. Lightweights, I've done some touring on lightweight wheels for sure. They're alright. Just make sure no kid jumps on them at the supermarket and breaks all your spokes out. That's the video, that's the deal. Stay carved up, stay hydrated, sleep outdoors, make sure you got enough warmth. It's very important. Like, it's better to have an extra ½ kilo in your sleeping bag than be sleeping cold, you know. If I'm doing a time trial, 24-hour time trial, then I just have a little power nap, 10 minutes, you know, get up and go. So if you are tired, please stop and rest. Right? Just close your eyes, rest. Right? Don't ride tired, don't ride fatigued. Don't be chugging down more stims to keep going. I mean, it's a fine balance. Like, if you're really tired, you need to rest. Stims won't help, okay? If you're just like, you know, need a bit of stim to pay attention, okay? But still, just be very cautious, all right? Ride responsibly out there. Drive responsibly. If you're on the road, you have responsibility for yourself and other people. Peace.